Well, a Microsoft reorg announced today pushes out former Nokia CEO Stephen Elop. Also out at Microsoft is Mark Penn, who is in charge of the company's disastrous Scroogled campaign. Kirill Tatarinov and Eric Rudder are also leaving the company. That's four, count them, four major executives who have been forced out. Meanwhile, Windows chief Terry Myerson will take over a newly formed group called the Windows and Devices Group. What do you think, as a devices guy and also somebody who covers Windows, of them combining Windows and the Devices Group?
I think it's a smart idea, and my far more eloquent colleague, Jo Foley, penned a nice piece on this shortly at ZDNet. And she said, you know what, it's really not about the hardware. The hardware part of Microsoft is really to showcase the services and the software. And I think that's a smart take on things, and also a smart move by Microsoft to do this. Elop is the biggest name here, I think, out of all of this that's coming and going. I don't know that people are terribly surprised by that, given his tenure at Nokia and then coming over to Microsoft. I have to say, though, as a Chromebook user, I hated that Scroogled campaign, and I wonder if Mark Penn is out because of that, because I think it hurt Microsoft in the long run.
Well, there's no. Well, speaking of, before we get to Mark Penn, speaking of Jo Foley, she's also a colleague of mine, and she'll be co-hosting Windows Weekly immediately after this show today, and so you can get her views on that. And of course, Paul Thurrott and Leo Laporte are also on that show, so I'm sure they're going to be talking about this reorg extensively, and those are two killer analysts for the world of Microsoft. Now back to Mark Penn. I've seen another interesting theory about him. He is a political dirty tricks guy. That's what he does for a living, and he was hired by Microsoft to come in and do dirty tricks for Microsoft. It kind of backfired on them. I think it gave him more bad publicity than good, and now he's leaving just in time for the new presidential campaign. So I have the feeling that one reason he might be leaving is that he's going to go join one of the candidates to be their dirty tricks guy. So good riddance to him.
Maybe he's going to help Donald Trump, since he just announced that presidency's campaign for presidency yesterday. So good luck with that.
Yes, and there's a very convincing report that shows that Donald Trump hired actors to be in the audience for his announcement. So
shades of Samsung.
What a blowhard.